Hello, welcome to Bible Talk. This is Stephen Smith, and we're going to be reading from the book of Genesis, starting with the first chapter of Genesis. In Genesis chapters 1 and 2, there's been a lot of controversy about the creation, and some have argued that there was two creations, which I don't agree with, but we're going to break it down and read it and discern by the Spirit what the truth is in the book of Genesis. Alright, chapter 1 has the man created on the sixth day. But in chapter 2, has the man created on the day that the earth was born, where the dry land appeared, before anything else was planted. Now, the thing to understand about Genesis 1 and 1, before we can understand this, we need to go to the book of John 1 and 1. And John chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the same was in the beginning with God. And all things were made by Him, and without Him not anything was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. And on the first day, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And this is the light that John was speaking of. And before the sun and the moon was ever created, that was when the first day God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And the light that came into being was the light of God, which is the Jesus Christ, the Word who became Jesus Christ. Now in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now this is the earth in its infant stage, in a stage before it was born. It was wrapped in water as a womb, just as the mother's womb. It was wrapped in water, waiting to be born. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Now when God speaks, He speaks in faith. This is God speaking creation into existence. But creation was not instantaneous. It did not just happen when God spoke the words. But He had to first speak the words, and then the Spirit would create that which God had spoken in the beginning. So this is God speaking creation into existence. God said, "Let," and then He said, "In the evening and the morning were the first day." And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, which is the sky, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So God created the heaven on the second day. It says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, the heaven was created on the second day, and the earth is created on the third day. And God called the firmament, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. Let the dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after its kind. And God saw that it was good. The evening and the morning were the third day. Alright, now we're going to pause here, and then we're going to go to chapter 2, where chapter 2 verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made earth and the heavens. And you notice here it says in the day, meaning that was a singular meaning in the day of the Lord, which the day of the Lord is eternal. So in the day that Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb in the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. So he's saying here that he before he even planted the first blade of grass, or before he planted any fruit tree or herb, there was no man to till the ground. So he caused it to mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So God created man before anything else had existed, before the herbs, before the trees, before animals or anything, because man, Adam, had dominion over all things. So he was created before all things. So now we go back to first chapter, and we go to the fourth day. Alright, let me find it here. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Verse 14, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So God has created, on the fourth day, he has created the sun and the moon and the stars, and he's creating time and seasons. God does not have time and season. He lives in eternal existence. He created a mortal existence for man to live. And let them be for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. The evening and the morning were the fourth day. So Adam watched the sun rise, and he also watched the sun set on the day of its creation. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and fowl that fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly. after their kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. So in the evening and the morning were the 5th day. So on the 5th day God created all the birds of the air, and every bird that you have seen was created on the 5th day, and all the fishes of the sea, from the smallest fish to the largest whale, was created on the 5th day. Now, we're going to go to the 6th day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after its kind. And it was so. God made the beast of the earth after its kind, and cattle after their kind, everything that creepeth upon the earth after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, now this was on the 6th day, and God said, Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female, created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. Okay. Now, if you just read this, not understanding that God speaks in faith, and not understanding also what he said in chapter 2, where not anything was planted before he had created man. If you look at chapter 1, you see that everything is created. All the trees and the herbs, and even the cattle of the field and all this. But that's not the way it was. Because before any rain, or before any herb, anything was planted, God created Adam, because Adam is the gardener who has to take care of these plants and trees. And God gave man dominion over these things. So when Adam was created, there was nothing on the earth. No plant had ever been planted, or no herb tree had ever been planted. So Adam was the first living thing upon the earth, the living soul upon the earth. And then after that, God created let's go to verse 8 in chapter 2. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. So God gave a river to plant in the Garden of Eden. He caused the river to run through it, so it would water the plants, the trees and the grass and every herb. And the name of the first river is Pison, then that which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold on of that land is good. There is bdellium and onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon, and the same is that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is that which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Okay, I'm going to have to close from now, and I'll continue this on part 2. This is Bible Talk with Stephen Smith. Thank you very much. God bless you.